You have spent your entire life building a legacy through hard work and discipline. You followed the rules, saved your money, and prepared for a peaceful retirement. But recently, you might have noticed a strange and unsettling feeling when you visit the grocery store or pay your monthly bills. It feels as if the ground beneath your financial feet is slowly shifting. The numbers in your bank account stay the same, yet the things those numbers can buy are becoming fewer and fewer. This is not an accident, and it is not just a temporary phase of the economy. It is the result of what I call the invisible tax. Most people call it inflation, but that word is too clinical to describe what is actually happening to your life's work. Inflation is a silent thief that enters your home without breaking a window and takes a small piece of your wealth every single day. Imagine you have been carrying water in a bucket for 40 years to ensure you have enough for the long journey ahead. You reach your destination only to find that the bucket has been leaking the entire time through tiny, almost invisible holes. This is exactly what is happening to the purchasing power of the United States dollar. If you look back at the last 4 or 5 years, you will see a startling truth. $100 in the year 2020 does not buy nearly as much as it does in 2025. In fact, that $100 bill has lost nearly 20% of its real-world value in just a few short years. I am here to tell you that you do not have to watch your bucket drain until there is nothing left. There is a new kind of insurance policy for the digital age that the world's largest financial institutions are now using. Today, we are going to talk about Bitcoin, not as a speculative gamble, but as a digital life raft for your heritage. The silent theft of your hard labor. To understand why you need a new strategy, we must first understand the true nature of the money we use. For decades, we were taught that cash is the safest asset you can own. But the reality of the 21st century is that cash is a melting ice cube. The government and central banks have the power to print more money whenever they deem it necessary. Every time a new dollar is printed and enters the system, the dollars you worked so hard for become less scarce. When something becomes less scarce, its value inevitably goes down. This is the hidden mechanics of the invisible tax. It is a tax on your time, your effort, and the sacrifices you made to save for your family. The most dangerous part is that it happens so slowly that most people don't realize the damage until it is too late. If you are living on a fixed income or relying on a traditional savings account, you are the most vulnerable to this process. Interest rates at the bank rarely keep up with the rising cost of eggs, gas, and healthcare. You are effectively losing money while it sits in what you thought was a safe place. I know how frustrating this feels because it violates the basic agreement of our society. You gave your best years to the economy, and in return, the economy is supposed to protect the value of your contribution. When that agreement is broken, you must look for a different kind of store of value. You need an asset that cannot be diluted, cannot be printed, and cannot be devalued by a politician's signature. This is where the concept of digital gold comes into play. The digital life raft in a world of printed paper. For thousands of years, humans used gold as the ultimate protection against inflation. Gold is valuable because it is difficult to find and impossible to manufacture out of thin air. But in our modern, fast-moving world, gold has limitations in how we transport and store it. Bitcoin was designed to be the digital evolution of gold. It carries all the same properties of scarcity, but it is optimized for the world we live in today. The most important thing you need to know about Bitcoin is a single number. That number is 21 million. Unlike the United States dollar or any other currency, there will never be more than 21 million Bitcoins in existence. This limit is written into the mathematical code of the system and cannot be changed by anyone. Think about the power of that certainty. In a world where everything is becoming more expensive because money is becoming more common, Bitcoin remains fixed. It is the only asset in human history where the supply is perfectly known and perfectly limited. When you own a piece of Bitcoin, you own a fixed percentage of a global network that no one can inflate away. I often hear people say that they are too old for this technology or that it is too complicated. I want to reassure you that you do not need to understand the computer code to benefit from the protection. You don't need to understand how an engine works to drive a car or how a microwave works to heat your food. You only need to understand the property of scarcity. Bitcoin is a high-tech version of a very old and very simple idea, owning something that is rare. It is a digital life raft designed to keep your head above water when the currency around you is sinking, the Wall Street seal of approval. There was a time when Bitcoin was seen as a fringe experiment used only by tech enthusiasts, but those days are long gone. In 2024 and 2025, we witnessed a massive shift in how the world's most powerful institutions view this asset. Companies like BlackRock and Fidelity, which manage trillions of dollars for retirees just like you, have officially embraced Bitcoin. The approval of Bitcoin's spot exchange-traded funds, or ETFs, was a turning point in financial history. This means that Wall Street has given its seal of approval to Bitcoin as a legitimate asset class. These institutions are not gamblers. They are the most conservative wealth managers on the planet. They recognize that the financial landscape has changed and that their clients need a hedge against a devaluing dollar. By making Bitcoin available through traditional investment accounts, they have removed the technical barriers. You no longer have to worry about complicated passwords or digital wallets if you don't want to. You can now hold Bitcoin right alongside your stocks and bonds in a standard brokerage account. This institutional adoption is the ultimate validation of Bitcoin's role as digital gold. It provides a level of security and oversight that was missing in the early years. When the largest wealth managers in the world are putting Bitcoin on their balance sheets, it is a signal that you should pay attention. They are preparing for a future where the traditional rules of money no longer apply. They are building their own life rafts, and they are inviting you to do the same. The strategy for protecting your legacy. Now, I am not suggesting that you should take your entire life savings and put it into Bitcoin. That would be reckless and against the principles of sound financial management. However, in the world of modern portfolio theory, even a very small amount can have a massive impact. I call this the 1% safety margin. Imagine taking just 1% of your portfolio and moving it from a melting asset like cash into a scarce asset like Bitcoin. If the dollar continues to lose value, as it has for decades, that 1% acts as an insurance policy for the other 99%. Because Bitcoin has the potential for significant growth due to its limited supply, a small amount can offset the losses caused by inflation. If Bitcoin continues to perform as it has historically, it could be the difference between a struggling retirement and a thriving one. And if I am wrong and Bitcoin does not perform, you have only risked 1% of your wealth. This is a strategy of maximum protection with minimum risk. It is about being proactive rather than reactive. You have worked too hard for too long to leave your legacy to chance. You deserve to know that the wealth you intend to leave for your children and grandchildren will actually be worth something when they receive it. By diversifying into digital gold, you are making a choice to protect your heritage from the silent thief of inflation. Securing your future. We are living through a unique moment in human history. The tools that worked for our parents may not be enough to protect us in the years to come. The invisible tax is real, and it is accelerating. But for every problem, there is a solution, and for every sinking ship, there is a life raft. I want you to think about the legacy you are building. Is it stored in a bucket with holes, or is it secured in a vault of digital gold? If the value of your dollar has dropped 20% in the last 4 years, what is your plan to make sure your legacy survives the next 10? It is time to look past the headlines and understand the math of scarcity. Bitcoin is no longer a mystery. It is a tool for financial independence and preservation. I encourage you to speak with a professional or research the Bitcoin ETFs that are now available to you. Take a small step today to ensure that your hard labor is not stolen by the passage of time. In my next video, I will show you exactly how the world's largest wealth managers are now using Bitcoin to protect their clients' portfolios. I hope this information gives you the confidence to take control of your financial future. Please remember that this content is for informational purposes only and does not constitute professional financial or medical advice. Always consult with a qualified advisor before making significant changes to your investment strategy. Thank you for your time and for your commitment to your family's legacy. Stay safe and stay informed.